I have been enjoying the hell out of playing as Sephiroth in Super Smash Bros. I think he's got to be one of the best DLC characters I've seen in a long time. I think he's probably the most fun I've had with DLC characters since Terry. And, I've been saying for a long time now that, Min Min and Steve just weren't my style. They were not made for me. And I'm really happy to see Sephiroth is just right there what I want him to be. Not only am I a huge fan of the game he's from, but I'm a huge fan of all the remixes they've done. I really love the music. Era's theme, her new theme, literally makes me emotional, and Cosmo Canyon is one of my favorite songs in any video game ever. And so to have that song back and have it remixed for Smash, it's because Sakurai knows what the fuck is up. Or someone, whoever's in charge of music for Smash, they know what the fuck is up with the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII, and they did a fantastic job with selecting these songs for Sephiroth. On Twitter, John Cartwright said, "It finally feels like Cloud is in Smash," and he is 100% correct on this one. I mean, this is the Final Fantasy VII representation I've been wanting for so long. And the funny thing is that Sephiroth isn't officially out for another 2 days. So on the 22nd, when he's actually out, I will be buying all of those Final Fantasy VII Mii costumes, and I'll be buying the Geno Mii costume. And that's what I'm here to talk about with you guys, because I'm so happy and elated with everything they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, and I can't wait to see all the spirits, because I beat costume mode as Sephiroth, and yeah, the spirit for Sephiroth is not just his 3D model. Cloud's was just the 3D model from Smash. Sephiroth finally has the actual fucking artwork from the original game. This means there's probably going to be a new Cloud spirit. There's probably going to be spirits for all those Mii fighters. Oh my gosh, I can't wait, boy. I can't wait. It's so much fun. This is so exciting. So I'm really excited to play. But to get back to the topic at hand, Sephiroth is in Smash, but that also means that other Square Enix characters must have been deconfirmed, and yeah, Geno is out of the running. Now, I was super hype on Geno. I was saying if we got Steve, I think Geno's 100% happening. But the more I think about it, I don't think Steve got put in to make the fans happy. I'm not even sure why I came up with that solution. I think what really happened is that Steve that was just a good pick, and so it seemed like he was reacting to the fans who wanted Steve. Well, the reality is that Steve just happened to be one of the characters that could have been brought up. The truth is, the only reason we have Banjo in Smash is because of Minecraft. Minecraft was literally the only reason, because that's when Nintendo and Microsoft first started talking, and years went into planning for putting Banjo into Smash, which pretty much meant they could put Steven whenever the fuck they wanted. I mean, why would they not put Steven, for one? And why would Minecraft turn that down? Why would Mojang turn that down? Why would Microsoft turn that down? None of them want to turn that down. Microsoft wants to be friendly, and they've been very friendly with Nintendo, giving Nintendo lots of games. So, I mean, like Cuphead was on the Switch, and then Cuphead got on Smash. And to me, one of the things I always wanted was a Cuphead amiibo, my very first video on this channel in this style at least, was a review of Cuphead, where I said it's like an amazing game and it's a 10 out of 10 experience, and it's one of my favorite games, and I have close ties with this channel just for that reason. I even bought a Cuphead plush not too long ago, and I have it sitting up on my bookshelf now, because every time I look at Cuphead, it just literally sparks joy in my heart. So the fact that Microsoft was like, yeah, put Cuphead on the Switch, and then a Cuphead Mii costume came to Smash, I never thought we'd see Cuphead in Smash. But you know what? All those Undertale fans who are just massively huge Undertale fans, they thought they'd never see Sans in Smash. So the fact that so many people are getting what they want, it's fucking awesome. Now for me, I'm gonna buy the Geno Mii costume. Geno as a Mii gunner is perfect, because he is a gunner. That is how he would fight. But there's so many other gunner costumes, so it is kind of sad that, it's like, maybe in Smash 4 that was cool, but now it is sort of weird. It's like we have all these other gunners. But I will make Geno's Mii gunner probably fight a lot different from the ones, probably make him fight a lot different from how I have Sans and Proto Man fighting. But, dude, would I prefer an actual character for Geno at the end of the day? Yeah. I think it's really sad, Now, I've wanted Geno in Smash since Brawl, and part of why I wanted him since Brawl, the reason why is because that game featured characters like Pit, but it also featured characters like Meta Knight and King Dedede and Diddy Kong, and these are characters I feel like were really popular before the GameCube era, and Brawl kind of represented the GameCube era of games. So, to me, it was just sort of like, yeah, I want to show some appreciation and love for more past stuff, and I always thought it'd be cool to feature Geno since he is a Mario prominent character who probably won't appear in many other games, but in Smash, it actually makes a ton of sense. So I remember in the days of Brawl, I thought, wow, if you can put Snake and Sonic in it, why not put Cloud in? And hey, why? And also wanted Leon to Resident Evil. One of those dreams came true. Leon, sadly, is only a spirit. I hope they make Resident Evil Mii costumes. If they make Resident Evil Mii costumes, I'll buy the fuck out of them, but we'll have to see if another Capcom character even gets in at this point, but so far so good. I don't think they've revealed any Capcom characters yet. Honestly, I think Monster Hunter actually has a strong chance of getting in at this point. But yes, I've wanted Geno since Brawl for those reasons, and I've wanted Geno again and again and again, and after we got Ridley, it was like, oh my gosh, King K. Rool's gotta be next. Then we got King K. Rool, which was more predictable that time, right? But after that, it was like, oh my gosh, Banjo and Geno are on the way. And yeah, we got Banjo. It just took a little bit, but we got Banjo as DLC, but it was still waiting on Geno. However, I was very frightened at that time. I wanted Geno to be revealed in the main roster of games and not be DLC. The reason why is because I had no faith that Geno would be DLC. And when I saw Geno as a spirit and a multiplayer icon, which I think they revealed that after they showed Incineroar and said there's going to be no more characters after Incineroar, I was just sort of like, well, that's it. We're not getting Geno. Now, time has passed, and I thought maybe for Season 2, because I always figured Season 1 would have no spirits as characters, but I see no reason why they would not break that rule for Season 2, and Min Min proved that rule truly is confirmed that it didn't matter. I still was pretty confident that spirits would be characters for Season 2, especially with 6 DLC characters. At least one of them's got to get in right. And yeah, it was confirmed that rule doesn't matter. However, I still think that Min Min is probably going to be the only one. And we might have another one if we're lucky. But the reality is, I don't know. I still think Pokemon is going to be a character. And besides that, I don't know who the next two are going to be at all. You know, people are like, oh, well, if there's 3 characters left, one of them's got to be Dante, one of them's got to be Monster Hunter, right? One of them's got to be Capcom. Nah, not really. It could be, one's going to be Pokemon, and then the other 2 could be fucking anything at this point. If we can have Sephiroth, we can have all that stuff. Though I will say, I have some ideas on what I think other characters could get in, but I'll have to go on that with another tier list style video. What I will say is that I've been wanting Geno for a long time, and the thing is that if we can have Sephiroth, well, I'd much rather have Sephiroth than Geno. I'd much rather have Sephiroth than Sora, if I'm being completely honest. However, I do want Sora really badly. The other thing is, I've been really vouching for Geno, saying I really want Geno, and I think we were going to get Geno. The truth is, if I had to choose between Sora and Geno, I would choose Sora in a heartbeat. Geno can go fuck off for all I care. I would rather have Sora. So him being deconfirmed here is fine, because Sora has not been deconfirmed yet. However, if they were going to do a Sora Mii costume, I don't know if they would even show it for a Sephiroth character reveal, but at the same time, at least Sephiroth and Sora have fought each other before, so revealing Sora with other Final Fantasy characters might as well. But the truth is, I don't think there's going to be a Sora Mii costume. It's just either way, even if he's not in the game, so we'll still have to see if we get Sora, but Sora would be the kind of character choice that would fit and be so perfect for Smash. You know, it's kind of crazy that we have Joker from Persona, but we don't have Sora from Kingdom Hearts, when Sora just... It's like Kingdom Hearts was the biggest fandom for so long, and then Persona became more popular after the fact. So it's like Sora and Kingdom Hearts, they do deserve their spotlight in Smash. 100%, Sora should have been in this game already. But the truth is that we don't know how this is going to work, and the reality is that if they do Sora, it probably won't be for Fighter Pass 3. You know, we're probably not going to get Sora in Fighter Pass 2, especially after we have Sephiroth. So it's more likely to get Sora for Fighter Pass 3. If there even is a Fighter Pass 3, because I'm not convinced or sold on that idea at all. I think that Fighter Pass 2 could potentially be the final one, but I'm praying and hoping to God they do a third one before they focus on the next Smash game, because I think this game, they should just keep continuing it into being such a huge collection. There's no reason to not do this because you just make infinite money. I know for a fact, I have a friend who really wants to get this game now because Cloud and Sephiroth are both in it, so it's just like, yeah, I mean, people are going to want Smash and Switches over this kind of stuff, so it just makes money for Nintendo. That's why I wanted Geno in it for the base game, because that being said, Sephiroth will sell copies of the game, Sephiroth will sell Switches, but Geno doesn't have that kind of power, and with DLC you need that hype factor, and Geno never had it, and that's really sad. You know, in Japan they're doing commercials with Minecraft Steve in them, and he's the only character who's been DLC who's got a commercial saying, look, you can play as Steve in Smash now. Playing as Steve in Smash is a huge freaking deal. It means a lot. Geno does not have that kind of power, but you know what? Neither does Incineroar from Pokemon. So again, it makes sense that those characters should be in the base game. Now, Ridley would have been fine, or Carol would have been fine as DLC, but they weren't. They're in the base game, and I think it's good to include new characters in the base game. And you know, I think that we should be looking at characters like, you know, Geno, who should have just been in the base game that people wouldn't have been upset about. Like, for example, Isabelle. I'm sure some people were happy that Isabelle's playable, but no one's going to play as Isabelle, because Isabelle's not very good for one, and Isabelle's just sort of in the game because she deserves to be. Again, I 100% agree, Isabelle deserves to be a playable character, but the reality is that nobody thinks she's a very good character, nobody wants to actually fight as her, and if you really like Smash and Animal Crossing, there's a chance you'll pick the much better character, Villager, who's one of the best characters in the game. And so, well, I'll rephrase that. He's not one of the best characters in the game, but he's a much better character than Isabelle, who's just a worse version of him. I mean, come on. Villager's actually a very decent character who some people can do some amazing shit with, especially Japanese players. So, yeah, again, why would you ever pick Isabelle, who's just worse? Geno should fit that kind of mold where not everyone, maybe people don't even care about Incineroar. Me personally, I don't give a fuck about Incineroar. However, he's one of my favorite characters to play because the gameplay involving him is just so much fun. To the point where now when I do wrestling moves, I just think, Incineroar. It's just infectious and it's fun. It makes you feel positive and you have a good time doing it. So, I mean, yeah, just that character's awesome. I love that character now. And I don't even care about playing Sun and Moon or whatever that Pokemon game he's in. I'm pretty sure it was Sun and Moon, right? I do remember Litten. I think Litten is a better starter than the water one I chose. So I do remember Litten, and I do like cats. And the idea of a little kitty cat evolving into this giant fucking wrestler who does Zangief moves, that makes me happy. So I am glad he's in Smash. He's like the first like grappler wrestler character, though Bowser does have some grappling components to him. I think Bowser kind of is another grappler character with his forward B and his throw, but Incineroar really takes the cake with his moveset, and I really, really like that character. And that's how Geno should have been. He should have been like another character who you could say, oh, well, Mega Man has a gun for him, but I want Geno to be like a different version of that. I want him to feel different, a new, very unique and cool style Zoner character. And again, Geno has like Rocket Fist, he can shoot little star meteors coming from the sky, he has machine gun bullets, he has laser beams that come out of his hand. Like, Geno has a lot of abilities that, and then with Smash, you can make even more abilities, you know? You can just make shit up that makes sense for, like, a robotic character like that. Or, you know, he's not a robot, he's like a wooden toy, but he's a wooden toy with a bunch of fucking guns and weapons built inside of him. So, he's like, and the reason why is because if you're gonna make an RPG game with Mario, you're gonna need a character like that who has special abilities. So the thing is, I'm really glad Geno is finally being represented here. It makes perfect sense for him to come out with Sephiroth because Geno came out with Cloud Smash 4, and it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm really happy to see Geno in the game, and he totally deserves to be in Smash. And I guess he can fit in this capacity. It's just a zoner, but I just kind of disappointed in Sakurai. You know, it's like, do you not believe in your own capability to make him a playable character? And after this point, you have to know there's a huge demand for him and people really want him. At this point, it would make sense to just put him in the game. But that's never going to happen, at least not for Ultimate. I think what they need to do, Ultimate missed out on some opportunities that Smash 4 also missed out on. Like Smash 4 missed out on these huge opportunities for certain characters, and Ultimate fixed that, right? Like with Smash 4, there was a huge crying demand for like Ridley and K. Rool. and they fucked it up. But Ultimate finally got it right. But Ultimate was so close to being the perfect game, but they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. You know, I wanted a second Smash or Sonic character in Smash 4. You know, I was fine with that in Brawl only being Sonic because it was like this third-party stuff was such a new concept. But I was like, okay, it's a new game. Let's add some new Sonic characters. Just one more character, please. Ultimate could have put in Shadow as an Echo Fighter for Sonic. They set up the Echo Fighter stuff so perfectly, and they even gave Ken. They put Ken in for Ryu, so even Ryu had an Echo Fighter, and it was like, oh my gosh, the scene is set so perfectly to put Shadow in, and they just didn't do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like the opportunity's perfect. What are you doing? And Geno was the other opportunity that was so perfect. And I think we don't having Shadow as a DLC character makes no sense because he just needs to be an echo of Sonic. I don't want if we can pick any character to be a secondary character for Sonic, and it doesn't have to be an echo because Sephiroth proves that, then I don't really want Shadow. I want Tails or Knuckles or Eggman. I want one of those three over Shadow any day. And Tails and Knuckles have me costumes, and Eggman doesn't. So let's put Eggman in for all I fucking care. But the reality is I don't want Shadow unless I'd rather have Shadow be an Echo Fighter. And people might say that's blasphemy, but the reality is he's just literally a clone of Sonic in Sonic Adventure 2. And it's just easy to do. So what I would love is if they introduced Tails and Shadow as both new characters in the sequel to this Smash Ultimate game, and have Shadow be the Echo Fighter and Tails be an original fighter. That would be fucking awesome. But no Shadow. That just blows my mind how there's no Shadow, you know? So again, Geno should have been like that. Again, Geno should have just been in the game. He should have just been in the game from the start. And I knew this wouldn't bode well for him once DLC season started up. And after Steve, I got really hyped on the idea, and it's been shot down completely. But again, I want to reiterate here. I think Geno should be in Smash. And I think Sora deserves it even more than Geno. 2B, I do think she should be in, but after Sora. And that's kind of why I'm like, no, we need Sora. Though I would love more female characters. 2B doesn't really, I mean, we're getting, after Sephiroth, I think I want to chill with sword characters right now, you know, after that. Like, especially long-bladed sword characters. So I don't even know. Again, I don't even know if Ryu Hayabusa is still coming at this point. I think Ryu Hayabusa might be shit canned because we're halfway through the characters. We're running out of fucking characters here. I think Crash is shit canned. I don't think there's any reason. I don't think Crash holds the popularity that Banjo did. And not only that, but I just think that if we're putting in characters like Sephiroth, and I think that there's some big names that we could get in and still, and that would be more important. I really have no clue who the next three will be, other than one might be a Pokemon. But if none of the three are Pokemon, I'll be ecstatic and be so happy. But I don't know. It's so crazy. Like, really, who do you think will be in? You know, I think about this a lot. Who do you think will be in the game? You know, so I have no clue. But I'm freaking really happy and really stoked for the future after Sephiroth. And the good thing about Sephiroth is that after Min Min, I was ready to start talking about the next character. After Steve, I was ready to start talking about the next character. I didn't think we'd get Sephiroth this soon. I thought if we got the third character, it'd be in February. And now it looks like the truth is the next character will come out in March because they usually coincide with the Amiibo release. Sephiroth didn't even talk about Amiibo. It went by so fast, they thought I wouldn't notice. You thought I wouldn't notice, Sakurai. You thought I wouldn't notice you didn't talk about Amiibo, but I noticed. And that's because the Amiibo release date for those three that we're getting is March 26th, and usually they show off the next Amiibo right then and there. So that's really dope, because that basically means the next character is going to come out around late March or early April. So, and my money's more so on late March, which I think is a good thing, because waiting 2 months and then basically 3 months because the end of the month for the next character, I think that makes a ton of sense. So it is very interesting. And the good thing about Sephiroth is that this one is so much fun. Everyone unanimously agrees, like, he's a ton of fun to play. He's actually, like, really balanced. Like, he's not broken OP, but he's also not like you'll lose every matchup. Like, he can win a lot of his matchups, and sometimes it's convincing and sometimes it's barely. But the fact of the matter is, he's good enough to where you can just main him. You know, with Byleth is more like a counter pick character. Sephiroth is not a counter pick character. You can just main Sephiroth and do good, and then switch to counter picks if you need to. But the reality is that while he might have some losing matchups, he can win and do good if you just know how to use his playstyle, you know? So in my opinion, I think he's a very well-balanced character who is a ton of fun to use and makes you feel so evil and so badass playing as him. I love this character. I think he's one of the most fun DLC characters they've ever implemented into the game. The shit people do with him is so cool. When people make him look good, he looks so good. His up B is so much fun to use to kill people. Guys, I don't be upset that Geno's not in, because Sephiroth is Sephiroth, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Sephiroth. Like, we used to joke about this, but I didn't think it would be real, you know? We used to joke about putting Sephiroth in Smash, but he so deserves it. He deserves it. Some people are kind of upset that Tifa's a Mii fighter. You don't need to be worried about Tifa being deconfirmed, because there's no other FF7 character who's going to be put in Fighter Pass 3. Okay, if they're going to do another Final Fantasy character, first of all, I hope it's not from 7. Because there's too many other good Final Fantasy games, and we don't need this many from 7. But if they're going to do their Final Fantasy character, it won't. I promise you, it won't even be Season 3. It'll be It'll be the sequel. It'll be the sequel to the next Smash game. It's not going to be this Smash game. It's going to be the next one. If we get another Final Fantasy, and it probably won't even be Tifa, because people seem to like Aerith more nowadays. Tifa used to be the more popular one, but now it seems like Aerith is getting more and more popular, and also it just won't even be any of them, because it's probably, if anything, we're gonna get a Final Fantasy character who's not from Final Fantasy VII, because we can't just hand out a bunch of characters from Final Fantasy VII into the game. There's got to be other characters, right? And I mean, for me personally, I would love Terra, but they probably wouldn't even do that. They'd probably just put in. If you could, fuck, man, I want Terra from Final Fantasy VI, but the reality is they probably won't do that. They'll probably put in someone from Final Fantasy IV, or honestly, they won't even do that. They'll put in like a Noctis or whoever the character is from Final Fantasy 16 or some shit like that. So they're gonna fuck it up no matter what. Either way, I'm happy with how they represented Final Fantasy VII with Cloud and Sephiroth. I think those are two of my favorite characters to play in Smash. They're just really fun, so I'm just really happy about that. And I don't even want Final Fantasy. I want Kingdom Hearts. I'm hoping. Here's to Season 3, because I doubt he's coming in Season 2. So anyway, I'm gonna end this one here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.